people who tend to build momentum over time, people who are really good at bringing their inspiration into realization, is that they flip outsiders into insiders. They flip outsiders into insiders. So what do we mean by that? Well, look, none of us does it alone, right? You can have a brilliant idea, you can have the best idea in the world, but we never do it alone. It's always a group of people. And so if you have something that inspires you, you have to inspire other people. You have to flip outsiders into insiders. You know, there's a story that I love, and it happened in the 1940s. Betty Crocker came up with the idea for instant cake mix. And they believed that instant cake mix was going to be a huge best-selling success. Because all you have to do is pour water into a mix, pop it in the oven, and voila, you get this really tasty treat, right? People love convenience. Why wouldn't they love this? And so they put a huge marketing campaign behind it. They put instant cake mix in grocery shelves all around the country, and then they waited for the sales numbers to come in. And what do you think happened? No one was buying this instant cake mix. And the people who were buying it weren't buying it again. And they couldn't figure out why. And so they hire a psychologist, a guy by the name of Ernest Dykda, to go out in the field and start talking to customers. And what Dykda comes back with is really fascinating. He says to the executives at Betty Crocker, "I think you have made the process of making a cake too easy, too simple." And they said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, look, when someone bakes a cake and they actually put that instant cake on the table, they actually don't feel a sense of ownership over it. They don't feel a sense of pride over it." And so the folks at Betty Crocker said, "Well, what do you think we should do?" And he says, "Why don't you try removing one key ingredient? Remove one ingredient and see what happens." What do you think they removed? The egg. That's why there's been an egg sitting there this entire time. They removed the egg. So now you have to go out and you have to buy fresh eggs. You have to crack them into the mix, stir them up, and then you put it into the oven. And what happens? Sales completely take off. Because now you actually felt like you were part of the creative process. Look, and researchers have unpacked this idea over and over again. There's a group out of Harvard that calls this the IKEA effect. The IKEA effect. And the IKEA effect basically tells us that we place up to 5 times the amount of value on something that we help build than something that we simply buy. All right, so there are a lot of people out there with poorly made futons, and they're never going to get rid of them because they built it with their own 2 hands. So what does this have anything to do with creativity? What does this have anything to do with innovation or bringing your ideas to life? Well, we've kind of been told that innovation and creativity is a 2-step formula, right? You come up with a great idea, and then you execute on it really well. But there's actually a hidden step in between. And that hidden step is where we bring other people in, where we help other people believe in the idea. And we help other people know that they have ownership over that idea as well. And I believe that you can trace literally every successful company, every successful product, every successful project back to this hidden step. It was never just one person who said, "I've got an idea and I'm going to see it from beginning to end." It was always a group of people who felt founder-level ownership over that idea, even if they didn't come up with it themselves. You know, Mahatma Gandhi was terrified of public speaking. He was terrified of public speaking. But his job was to try to inspire other people, right? He needed to inspire other people in order for this movement in India to actually be successful. And so one of the techniques that he used, and I'm going to share this with you because I use it all the time, is what he called switching the spotlight. Switching the spotlight. And what that basically meant is that any time he was about to walk into a room, anytime he was about to walk on stage, anytime he was about to give a lecture or a discussion with anybody, he would, in his mind, switch the spotlight from himself to them. It was never about him, it was always about them. And it's pretty amazing what can happen when you put this to use. Literally before you join a video meeting, almost making this like click, click sound in your head, going click, click, and just imagining that the spotlight is not on you, but the spotlight is on the person that you are trying to serve. It's on your team, it's on your customer, it's on the pinner, right? But it's not on you, it's on them. Because as soon as we start to make it about us, we become much more likely to burn out. But when we can make it about other people, when we can switch the spotlight to them, that fills us up with energy. So flipping outsiders to insiders by switching the spotlight.